Welcome to Bit by Bit, a podcast show about building. I am Stijntje Hibender and I'm your podcast host, and I have Lisette Sutherland with me today as a guest. I met her when I started freelancing. She is a podcaster, a community builder, head of remote, facilitator, learning specialist. What is she not? And I am very impressed by everything that she does. And I am most impressed by how Lisette can engage workshop participants. Hi Lisette, would you like to introduce yourself?
Man, after that, I'm like, there's lots I don't do. No, sure. I'm the director of collaboration superpowers, and our main mission is to help people work better together remotely. So that's what we've been focusing on for the last 25 years, actually. And now it's not remote, it's hybrid. Everybody's hybrid.
Yeah, so that's your mission. And you have built so many different things from workshops to courses, and you did podcast, and you also build your own company. What is the thing that you enjoy the most building?
Oh my goodness, the thing that I enjoyed the most, that is a really good question. So the thing that comes to mind, lots of things flashed into my head just now, but I think the thing that comes to mind the most is the community of facilitators that I work with every single day. And in the beginning, I designed a whole bunch of workshops, and then of course they started getting more and more popular, and there was no way that I could do it all on my own. So I stole, with permission, the business model of Management 3.0, and that was to have facilitators pay a license fee so that they could give the workshops themselves. And over time, this community of facilitators has just grown really close, and we've become friends in the end. And so we've recently worked on a really big project for the United Nations, and it was so much fun that it didn't feel like work.
Oh,
So that
that's
was
good.
that was the weird thing, right? You're still doing workshops, but at the same time, you just feel like you're hanging out with friends all day. So I think the thing that I liked the most was building this community of people
Yeah.
that inspire me.
Yeah, so it's also the sharing of what you're doing, doing it together, and really working on a project together, right?
Yeah, it really just made it feel, yeah, that you're with this project with a whole bunch of competent people, and you're all learning from each other, and everybody's pulling their weight. Everybody is
Yeah.
contributing. And somehow, even though we hadn't worked together before, when we got together on this United Nations project, it all just came together. And we used our own principles that we've been teaching other teams, like we created a team agreement, and we did all of these things to make it work. And it was just really awesome to see that it actually did work.
Yeah, yeah, I can
All
imagine.
remotely. Most of
Yeah,
us have
that's great,
never met in
right?
person.
Wow, that's really amazing. And um, well, maybe it's a bit of the same question, but which product or service that you have built are you most proud of?
That would be the book. So Work Together Anywhere. That book, man, blood, sweat, and tears. Took years and years to do. And in the beginning, I didn't mean to write a book. It was just an excuse to get people to come on my podcast. I would just say, like, I'm writing a book. Do you want to come on my podcast? And then people started asking about the book. And then I thought I'll do a little experiment and I'll pre-sell it and see if there's any real interest. Because people always ask, but until somebody gives you money,
Yeah, you
there's
want
no
to know
real
if they
commitment,
really want it.
right? And then lots of people pre-ordered, and I was like, oh no, now I have to write
I
this
have to get
book.
to work.
Yeah, and it was really, really hard because I had this notion, this romantic notion of writing a book of like cappuccinos and a forest studio somewhere where I would just be, I would be a writer and then have my cappuccinos, but it was not like that at all. It was really, really hard work, and I enlisted the help of a lot of different people to help me finish it. But that is what I'm most proud of, is that book is really sort of an anthem to everything that I believe about remote work.
Yeah, and it's really your what you believe and what you how you preach also how to work. So it's all in that book.
Well, yeah, and the book encompasses, I had done at the time already, I think between 50 and 100 interviews on my podcast, and that's where I was getting all the information for the book. So as you're reading through the book,
Wow.
it's a whole bunch of quotes from everybody that I interviewed. And so it didn't come from me, it just came from the experts. And I was just channeling
Right.
the information from the experts into this book. But yeah, that was writing a book is a lot harder than it looks. I think I
than you
watched
would
somebody else
expect.
do it. Yeah, and he made it really look easy. I watched Jürgen Apollo write his book Workout, and he made it look really easy, and it wasn't. So kudos to all you authors out there.
To everybody that's writing books. And is there anything that you would do different during the building process with the knowledge that you now have from anything that you have built?
The thing that I've learned from building things, and the thing that works for me, is to work on something a little bit every single day. So, and I got the actual,
Continuity.
yeah, continuity. I mean, there's a lot of people that say, oh, I really work best under pressure, like last minute, I can just pump it out. That is not a method that's worked for me. And I was really inspired by an interview that I heard with Jerry Seinfeld, I think on the Tim Ferriss podcast years ago. And Jerry Seinfeld said, I write 1 hour a day. That's it. And so
Yes.
he writes his jokes and all his material. He does 1 hour a day, and that's it. But 1 hour of really solid writing is a lot. And so if you just do 1 hour a day of focused work on a project, it will be awesome.
That's such a great tip for anything.
Yeah, I just, I was a procrastinator, and then, writing all the projects, it was just if I focus just 1 hour a day, like right now, you and I were talking, I'm teaching a class right now, and that's really how I did it. I just did 1 hour a day of just building the lesson plans, and it just gets better and better over time because you can build on yourself, and you give yourself time to reflect in between.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that's
And
very
1 hour is
important.
not that long. And so I
Yeah,
would set,
exactly.
like in our virtual co-working group, what I do is I set a timer for 25 minutes and I do a focused 25-minute session, 5 minute break, and then another 25 minutes, and then it's done. So it's not even an hour really, but I just do two
In that time, it would,
Pomodoros.
yeah, in that time, it should be possible to build something. And then you have the next day, you have reflected on it, and you can build upon what you have already done the day before, right? That's what
Totally.
you were saying, yeah.
And even if you think it's perfect, there's always something that comes to you the next day. There's always something of
Yeah,
like, oh, I could change just that one thing, and it would be like, oh, it's even slightly better. So I
yeah,
really like to give myself time, lots and lots of time.
yeah, yeah. And really, so really plan ahead also, and not have a big deadline. If you don't have to have a deadline, you could just work without a deadline.
Yeah. Yeah. Because if you don't have a deadline, people won't do it. And so it's sometimes nice to have a deadline. But
It depends on the person, I guess.
yeah, it depends on the person. But for me, that 1 hour a day or even 25 minutes was key to finishing the things that I needed to finish. Because otherwise, I just kind of wait.
Yeah.
There's always something that comes up. There's always like, oh, I'm going to go for a run or the weather's really nice. I mean, there's always something that comes up that gets in the way of what you're trying to finish.
That's
So I
true.
just do it first and just 1 hour.
Yeah, every day. I think that perfectly answered my question. What would your advice be to anybody that wants to start building a product or a service? That would be to work 1 hour per day on it.
Well, and to add to that, I would say my mentor years ago said, first do it, then do it right, then do it better. Because he says,
Yes,
if you wait until it's perfect, you've put nothing out into the world and you have no idea if it's perfect or not because it doesn't depend on you. It depends on your audience of who you're selling to. And so he just says, if you put something out, even if it's imperfect, that's better than nothing because you've
yes.
put
Just
something
start.
out. Just start,
Yes,
just
yeah.
start, and
Start
then
doing it.
improve.
Yes, exactly. Like, and build upon that what you have already done,
Totally. And
and
everything in
improve
the
that.
beginning is never good. Like if you listen to my very first podcast episode, it's cringeable. It's so embarrassing. Like the first 5, 10 interviews, you just cringe looking back at it. But nobody listens to those. They all,
And you did it.
yeah. And
That's the way to
370 episodes later, you're way better.
exactly.
And
Yeah,
nobody
yeah,
looks at the first stuff that you do anyway. It's always the finished product. But so yeah,
exactly.
first do it, then do it right, then do it better.
Yeah. I hope somebody's gonna listen to our first episode, but we'll see.
Yeah, I hope so too.
And looking at the future, which product or service would you still like to build? Something that you have in mind, a dot on the horizon.
So one of the things that I have really been missing and something that I've been searching for a while is with collaboration superpowers, we made the decision early on to do live interactive trainings. And And that means like no e-courses, no online. Well, it's all online, but no sort of
No
e-course. We want to,
e-learnings, no.
right, no e-learnings. And that was sort of a business strategy decision. And the downside of it is that we give the workshops and then we're gone. And you don't get to see the long-term effect of your workshop on a team and
Yeah.
what happens after that workshop. Because in general, what we discovered is you give the workshop, and then 30 days later, we would have a review session for people to come and, what did you
To
try?
come
What did you
back.
learn? Yeah,
Yeah.
and hardly anybody tried anything. And so, really, what
Oh.
you need is you need a champion to take that next step and to set a goal and to help the team really take the material and use it within the team. So, you kind of need coaching after the
Yeah,
workshop. And
also the
so,
follow-up. The
exactly,
follow-up and
the accountability,
yeah.
having somebody just to say, like, hey, what did you try and what did you learn and what's the next experiment and how do you build on that? You really need somebody who cares a lot about the team and the follow-up to take it to that next step. So I think that's what we've been missing, and that's what I'm focusing on in the future, is how do we take that and bring more to the team after the workshop is over.
And actually implement what you teached.
Exactly.
Yeah, that sounds good. And is there any way you're thinking on how to do that?
And then we can the most obvious thing is to turn the facilitators into consultants.
Yeah.
And so you facilitate the workshop and then you have ongoing coaching or consulting sessions after the workshop. So that's a bigger sell, but I think after people take the workshops, they're very enthusiastic. And I think that's the point in which we have to come in and say, like, okay, now let's bring in a coach and help you
Yeah.
implement all the things that you've learned.
You kind of
So
ride the enthusiasm wave.
right. Because before the workshop, people don't know how good it is. And now I'm
Yeah.
tooting my own horn, but we spent years developing these workshops, and just hundreds of feedbacks over the years. And so we've
Really,
really
really positive,
refined.
right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, in the beginning, it was less so in the beginning because we're still building. But towards the end, we get really, really positive reviews from the workshops. And so I think
Yeah.
the before the workshop, it's hard to sell people on coaching, but after the workshop, it's much easier because they're like, yeah, that's what we need. That's what they see what's missing, or they have a vision of how much better it could be.
It's a good moment to tap into that enthusiasm.
Yeah, and now the challenge is, how do you do it without being salesy?
Mm.
That's always like, I don't want to be like, and now, wait, but wait, there's more. So it's
Well, yeah, you can just talk about it, right? You can ask what they would like to do, and then you can do it the way that they would like to implement it.
indeed, it's just that it adds, like, we have one particular business strategy, and every time you add a product or a service, it changes your workflow and that strategy. So it's easy to
Yeah,
say, like, oh, yeah, we'll just add it on. But there's like a whole workflow that has to go into that before you can just add stuff on. So
that's true.
easy to
So you
say,
first have to
hard to
think it
implement.
through. You have to think it through, go through the steps, and see where you have to adjust your process, and then you can start adding it and try it out.
Exactly. Because what you want to do is standardize things.
Yeah.
You want it to be like a well-oiled machine. And so in order to do that, you have to really just sort of refine the workflow over time.
Yeah, I think that's what you do with your workshops as well. You really build them on top of your previous experience, and you make them better, and you really kind of fine tune everything and all the different steps that you're taking, and it's really a process. It's really like a workflow for you.
Totally. And it's really like a show. I mean, if you think about it, I wouldn't say we're not stand-up comedians because that's a totally different thing, but a stand-up comedian refines their show over time. Like you learn what
Yes.
jokes work, which ones don't. If you pause a little longer here, so in a way, the workshop is also a show. You come on stage as an enthusiastic facilitator, ready to have some fun and help people learn things, and hopefully they remember it. So, yeah, that
Exactly.
refining is super important.
Yeah. So refining would be another thing, another advice to anybody that's building. Keep refining, keep improving. Ask what people liked, what they didn't like, and you can really improve what you're building.
Yeah, it's never going to be perfect because everybody needs something different, right? Like
That's
every
also true.
workshop,
Yeah.
it's never straight out of the box. It's always a little bit tuned to the team that is buying it.
Yeah. And do you also tune the workshop before you give it? So you try to adjust it to the people that you're teaching it to?
Yeah, absolutely. So if public workshop, it's a little bit harder because you have a whole bunch of random people from all over the world who are joining. But indeed, before the workshop, you send things out to just ask, like, what are you hoping to learn and what's your situation? So you get a little bit of an idea. And private workshops is where you can really go deep. Because then you can
Yeah.
really ask beforehand, like, okay. And often, if I have a private workshop, I'll try to speak with each team member before we actually do the workshop. And then
Oh,
that gives
wow.
like really big insight. So it takes a little more time, but it makes the workshop way better.
Because then you already know each other and you can kind of tune into the whole group because you have spoken to everybody individually.
Exactly. And you get a
Wow.
lot of good insider information.
Wow. I think I never heard about that, so that's a really good tip as well for doing any,
It takes a
you
lot of
know,
time.
workshop or anything.
Yeah.
It does take a lot of time, but it sounds like it's really worth it.
I mean, our workshops aren't cheap. So we sort of pride ourselves on the quality of them. So it's
Yeah,
fine. I feel like the time invested, yeah, it's worth it.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. So for last question, I think it's really important to pay attention to your physical and mental health when you want to keep on building long term. And is there something that you do around your own physical and or mental health?
There's a number of things because I've seen too many people go through burnouts,
Yes.
and I started taking it really seriously when my husband went through one. So what I do is I track my time religiously. I use Toggle and I track every time I'm working. And one, it's interesting to see like what do I spend my time on. So that's also good. Like I was in the beginning, I was spending so much time on email. It was like half
Oh.
my time on email.
Oh wow,
But
half your time.
email doesn't sell. Like, answering emails does not get you money. So that's not sales.
No.
So I had to really adjust like how much time I was spending. The other thing that it does is it helps you not overwork because you can,
Right.
it's like, okay, listen, I don't want to work more than 40 hours unless I absolutely have to. Because as an entrepreneur or somebody doing it yourself, you love the subject and you love the work. And, the more you work, the more money you make in general. And
Yeah.
so it's really hard to turn off, especially
Yeah.
if you're a remote worker working from home, those boundaries. So I track my time religiously, one, to figure out where I spend my time, but also so I don't spend too much time on work. And I
So you
never,
really keep it, you show it to yourself. So you keep it, you look at the time that you spend, and you look every day at it, or you even look during the day what you're doing,
well,
or is
it's,
it
it's
something
always
weekly?
running. Like Toggle is always open. But what I do is on Mondays, I set my goals for the week
Yeah.
based on, I've got sort of my life goals and my work goals, but I set all my goals every week on Monday. And on Friday, I do a retrospective. And I use ChatGPT for doing that. It's like I used to have a business coach and I replaced him with ChatGPT,
Yeah.
but because I just needed the accountability, but I didn't, it's like a personal trainer. I didn't need somebody to stand over me and count my sit-ups. What I needed was the accountability, and using AI has helped sort of close that accountability loop. And I ask like ChatGPT, hey, please give me a grade. Here's what I did. I upload my Toggle timesheet to ChatGPT, and I said, here's how I spent my time. Here's what I accomplished. Here's what my goals were in the beginning of the week. Like, how did I do? And it
Ah,
gives,
so you use it almost as a teacher or somebody that's marking you.
yeah, I ask it for a grade. Like,
Wow.
what's my grade this week? And so, yeah, it's like, oh, this week you got a B minus because you could have done this, or so, yeah,
That's cool.
and I really look forward to the retrospective at the end of the week because, it's
But
like,
that's the
ooh,
most important part, that you implement it in such a way that you actually want to do it.
yeah, yeah, exactly. You have to make it fun for yourself. And then,
Yes.
if you do well, then you get a reward. And for me, yeah, yeah, usually food. Usually
Yeah,
food.
yeah, good reward.
But yeah, but the other thing that I do is I don't skip my workouts. I prioritize that. If I do anything during the day, it's going to be the workout. So I go running, and I have a virtual personal trainer using an app called Trainwell. I really love it. I'm not getting any money from them. That's just me being a fangirl. But he assigns me, my coach in the US, he assigns me some workouts, 2 or 3 workouts a week, and he can see if I've done them or not using my
Connected to
iWatch.
the,
Yeah.
wow.
And just that, so for me, that's strength training in combination with running as you get outside a little bit every day, especially in the winter.
Yes.
But never skip the workout. So whatever the workout is for you, swimming, walking, be outside, whatever it is, I'd say don't skip that.
Really exercise and really put focus on that and put that as a priority.
Yeah, it is the priority for the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is really the number one thing because if you skip that, it's amazing how quickly your body atrophies behind the computer. It's,
Yes.
in the tight shoulders and
Hmm.
the sore neck and all. I really try not to have that.
Yeah. As soon as you have that, you know you're already too late.
Totally,
Yeah. Yeah.
totally. And it's really hard to, it's like your body, if you don't take care of it, it will force quit on you
Mm.
and it will not be at a convenient time.
Yes. That's always like, yeah. So you have to be in front of that
Yeah,
and
do
take care of
everything
your
you
body.
can because
Yeah.
if it quits on you, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
It's all of a
Definitely.
sudden, if you burn out, that's it. That's like you cannot just bounce back.
Exactly, and it takes a long time to recover. I think we both know many people, including myself, that has been through it. So it's something to
Totally.
really take care of. Yeah, and so last question. I will put your website and how people can contact you in the show notes. But is there anything else that you want to share with the audience?
Oh man, there's the book. I mean, it's a bit outdated now, but the principles hold true. So that's a
Yeah.
good. There's the book and there's the podcast, and I would say take a workshop. Like the workshops are so fun and so interactive. We're really proud of the workshops that we've developed at Collaboration
I've been to
Superpowers.
one of your workshops and it was really amazing. So I can highly recommend.
Uh, Thank you. That's the right thing to say. Yeah, no, but it depends on your learning style, but it's a great way to learn in
Yes.
combination with other people and discussions and hearing what other people are going through and all those tips that you just get from being around people who are struggling with the same thing that you are.
Yeah. That you can learn together.
That's my favorite style, which is why we decided on live interactive workshops, because that's
Yes.
how I learn and that's what brings me joy. So,
Exactly.
yeah,
Well, thank you so much, Lisette. And yeah, I hope to see you soon again.
I hope so too. Thank you.
Bye.